What's something you've gotten away with as a kid because they're young and don't know what they're doing when really you knew exactly what you were doing? The first 2 years of elementary school I had to take the public bus 2 times a week to get to my school. So my mum gave me money for the ticket each morning I needed it. What she didn't know, I never once bought a ticket and kept all the money. 2 times I got caught, but pretended I didn't even know how to buy one and they let me go. Because I was so young. A young entrepreneur with an illegal money making scheme. I threw a water balloon during a birthday party at my friend's dad that I didn't like. Made him spill his drink. I was like 5 or 6. I used to wait until my mom showed up at the babysitter's to pick us up to ask for snacks. She would never give them to me throughout the day, but she wouldn't say no when my mom was standing there. Oh, I definitely think they realized what you were doing. But you got away with it anyway. I stole a ball from a thrift store. I said I thought it was just someone's lost ball since it was obviously not a brand new item in a store. However, I fully understood the concept of a thrift store. This reminds me of something I actually went through. There was a 6-year-old who used to step on me and my sister's feet. We normally didn't have socks on. Twist so that it hurt more. Then when we got mad at him he would say I'm LTLE with a smile. Oof. I was on a trampoline. And my older brother kept pushing me whenever I tried to stand up. He repeatedly did this about 7 times. He pushed me all the way to the springs. I tried to stand up again. And he pushed me off the trampoline. Because of the way he pushed me, I was falling head first. So I reached above my head to protect my head from the impact. I broke my fall with my arm. And I broke my arm with my fall. Compound fracture. Bone pierced the skin. It popped back in immediately after stabbing my skin. So I never got to see the bone. He told our parents that I was about to fall off the trampoline. And he tried to catch me, but he accidentally pushed me. And my parents thought he tried his best. But he's just a kid. So at least he tried to catch him. One time, I became a black market candy shop owner at school. Of course my parents thought I didn't know better. But I had a whole business plan. Eventually I made $400 bucks and my parents realized that I was becoming some sort of weird hustler that knew too much financially. I lost the touch as I got older though. Eating the giant chocolate egg my brother got from school. I don't know if this fits because I don't remember it at all. But when I was around 3 or so, my sister, 10 years older, kept getting blamed for eating all the ice cream. And would deny it. Which made my mom mad. Then one day, my mom rounds the corner into the kitchen, then quickly pulls back to watch little old Amy drag a chair from the table over to the freezer. Grab a spoon from the drawer. Open said freezer and dive into the ice cream. Finish and put the ice cream back. Close the freezer. Lick the spoon and put it back into the drawer. And pull the chair back over to the table. It was almost the perfect crime. I was the victim of this. We were both kids, but I was the older one. I had my head out of the window and my cousin rolled it up, choking me till I was teary. My parents had weird schedules, so for school, my mum usually packed my lunch in the evening and my dad would give me lunch money in the morning, not knowing that I already had lunch packed. The funniest part of this is the thought of a 7-year-old bringing home a brand new Wii and the parents just going, huh? My girlfriend works in a kindergarten. The boys are in love with her, so first they started asking things like, do you wanna go out and do you wanna be my girlfriend and such, then it evolved to them slapping her in the butt every time they went past her. They are 6-year-olds. Edit. I have been trying to answer all your questions and comments. But this really blew up and it is f-king with my Reddit. Pretty much anything as long as the house did not burn down. I am the youngest of 9 kids and by the time my parents got to me they were just too damn tired. When I was maybe like 3-4 years old, I remember going to the fridge for a snack at maybe 3 in the morning. I accidentally knocked a whole carton of eggs onto the floor. I think I kind of just pushed the broken eggs and stuff under the fridge with paper towel. All of it. It was hidden pretty well if I remember correctly. I don't remember any aftermath from the incident. Weird. I cut the tip of my finger with those small grooming scissors cause I wanted to see if it would hurt. It didn't. I just freaked out at the amount of blood coming out of my finger. My grandfather was always grumpy and didn't like kids. So as he climbed the stairs, I'd pinch him on the butt with a pair of dad's needle nose pliers. He'd yell, "Drag your ass on outta here. Yeah, damn little kid." But mom would smile and say, "He's just being cute." I was the victim of this though, but once my cousin pushed me down a set of stairs into a brick wall. I guess stealing money from my dad so I can buy Happy Meals and get the toys in them. Poor dad barely even had money back then to support us. I wrote on the wall 3 big C's in blue crayon when I was about 3 or 4. My name starts with a C, so it looked like my sister was trying to get me in trouble. Wasn't me who got yelled at that night. Mooning some lady on the highway when I was like 7. I just watched some funny movie where there was a mooning joke. So there I am, in the backseat of my mom's car. We're going to meet up with the rest of the family for dinner at Sizzlers, and there's remnants of the rush hour traffic. Lo and behold, my idiot 7-year-old self thinks it would be funny to moon someone in slow traffic. My victim followed my mom off the highway to the Sizzler and approached her when she got out of the car. "Do you know what your son just did?" To which my mom told the lady to lighten up and told her to get lost. To me this seems a bit justified. A 7-year-old mooning you shouldn't require you to hunt them down and yell at them. When I was really little, a year or so into using the bathroom mostly on my own, I decided I wanted to use the potty again this time. But only the top part was there. Just the seat. No bowl to be found. Now I don't recall exactly what my motivation was, but I definitely remember I knew exactly what was going to happen as I decided the lack of bowl wouldn't be stopping this train, and how hard it was to not to laugh and keep acting confused as my mom was patiently explaining how it worked. And did I forget how to use the toilet while there was a puddle on the floor, like I had made some honest mistake. Edit. This is now the second time I've shared an embarrassing childhood story. And this and the other one are the only posts I've ever had up into the 4 digits in 3 years. Just fantastic. My cousin would always beat me up when I was really young, and he wouldn't get in trouble because we were young. So one day we were having my cousins over for my birthday and I was scared of him. So my brother told me to hit him back. He comes over. A few hours pass. And then he challenges me to a fight. I quickly slap him in the face really hard and he starts bawling. And then I get in trouble. My granddad lived with us when I was growing up, and he was really a very mean-spirited man and talked awful to most everyone, including my sister and me. Once his brother, who lived a few states away, parked his RV in our yard for a few months, and one time I overheard my granddad say he wished he'd move that ugly thing out of our yard. Well, when his brother came to visit, I repeated this in front of both my granddad and my great uncle, and it embarrassed my granddad so bad. I left the room acting like I was just being a kid who accidentally let something slip, but I knew what I was doing the whole time. When I was really young, my cousin was my neighbor and they would leave their giant dog outside so he could run in the woods and enjoy the yard while they were out. Me being 6 and just given the newfound power of leaving my yard to go to my cousin's as long as I didn't cross the road. Long story short, cousin and family wasn't home. I went over, painted their black dog with white paint, and they blamed my older cousin for doing it. Literally 2 years ago, reconnected with my cousin after years as we were smoking a doobie. He mentioned the incident, I admitted to it, and he started laughing and telling me how they always mention him painting the dog. When I was around 8, I was told I was allowed to get 2 pet mice so they wouldn't be lonely. I picked a male and a female. A few weeks later I had 12 mice. I knew exactly what I was doing. Not me. But when me and my brother were jumping on an air mattress, he pushed me off and I fell onto the corner of a table. Even I'm really not sure if he really did it by accident or just pretended to. But I had to get stitches. And to this day, a chunk of my eyebrow is still missing. Whoa. Reading the comments, and apparently a lot of people have also lost part of their eyebrow. What the hell is wrong with siblings? Some of these siblings are downright sadistic. Thanks for the upvotes. Throwing my brother with a swing ball bat. It was an honest accident as my hands were sweaty. 2 weeks later, he threw me with a bat. Because he was angry. He was 5. I was 9 and told my mom it slipped. Like mine did. And what do you know? I got 4 stitches. And he got no punishment. He laughed at me after coming back from the hospital. That MF knew what he was doing. Still love him to bits and we are super close today. When I was 10 and my younger sisters were 7 and 4, we hated our babysitter. Me and the 7-year-old spent a whole month saying how much we hated her and that she wasn't in charge of us, etc. in front of the 4-year-old. One day I heard the babysitter crying. Go to check what's happening. And the youngest said to her that she wasn't our babysitter and we wouldn't do whatever she wanted us to do. The girl probably wanted her to take a bath or something. The girl resigned that day. My little sister didn't even say that she was repeating what we said. But I knew it was my fault. If something doesn't make sense grammatically, please let me know so I can improve. It's not much, but when I was in 2nd grade my grandfather passed away, and at the funeral I splashed my sister with holy water screaming, "Die demon die." I am the oldest child in my family, so hadn't experienced it much, but the amount of tea that my kid brother gets away with that would have gotten me in trouble is unbelievable. I'm the oldest sibling. This might not quite fit, but when I was in kindergarten I knew how to read and thought it would be funny if I pretended in class that I didn't know how to read. I had my teacher completely fooled, and it only unraveled when mom had a parent-teacher conference and my teacher tried to tell her I was having trouble learning my letters. In Greece when I was little we didn't have a proper shower and bathroom. We had an outhouse and would shower outside in the yard with a curtain and hose. Common for the island I'm from at the time. All the neighbors would do the same thing. I used to climb to the top of the house and watch the ladies showering. I was maybe 4-5 years old. I knew what was up. When my older brother and I were young teens, he kept getting yelled at for watching PRN on the family PC. Our Catholic mom would check the browser history, find it, and yell at him and ground him. He insisted it wasn't him. He would then get punished for lying. Because it wasn't mom or dad and it couldn't be the young, innocent, straight A Catholic high school attending sister. A few years ago I fessed up that I, at the time the 14-year Catholic school girl, would Google PRN and click links to fill up the browser history and then go on my merry way. Every time my brother pissed me off. Didn't even watch it. Just googled some boobs and then moved on because I knew she checked our browser history every night because that's just what she did. We did not get along as teens. He pissed me off a lot. So he got yelled at by our mom a lot for PRN use. I used to sell weed for a local distributor when I was 10. The money was good and I managed to make a girlfriend using that money, buying her candies and stuff. But my uncle caught me red-handed and I said I was selling coriander leaves. Both my dad and uncle thought local boys didn't tell me it was drug and I was too young to understand it wasn't. Haha wow. I couldn't imagine buying weed from a 10-year-old. Very dangerous too. I was 5. It was the middle of the night at my auntie's house and I needed to go to the bathroom. What do? I pee in the hallway. My aunt, cousins and my mom come home to find me dropping a gallon on the floor, and the best excuse I come up with is I was sleepwalking, I think. Till this day, everyone buys it. I think I was 5'2" when I shit in my pants. To see what happened. To my surprise, there was shit in my pants. My mom screamed and my dad laughed so hard he cried when I looked uncomfortable. When I was 3-4 years old I came up with this tactic I used on my dad whenever he got mad at me for stuff, where I would tell him, "Me digest gonzo," which basically translates to "you called me gonzo." I don't know how I came up with that. I did like the Muppets and Gonzo was my favorite. But whenever I said that, my dad was unable to hold back his laughter and he would just forget about whatever he was mad at because he found it so adorable. He loves talking about it to this day and doesn't know why he found it so funny. He just did. You basically found a dad cheat code. Nothing. My parents never made that excuse for me. I wasn't always punished. But I still received a talking to and told why what I did was bad. I'm happy they did that to me. When I was younger, like 7 or 8, I used to take down my underwear and pants before closing the bathroom door. So everyone could see my private parts. I did this because I went to Ireland with my mom and there was an autistic boy that did the same thing. What's worse is that the bathroom I went to the most was near the front door and I usually used it right before the bus for school came, and I'm guessing people saw my private parts. The thing is, my parents didn't even try to tell me it was wrong. They didn't tell me not to do it. I even did it when people were over. Like when they were right at the door. Gleefully saying the word PSSY out loud. Nice. When I tried to eat a pack of cigarettes as a kid, I wanted my mom to stop smoking so much so I resorted to eating them. She doesn't really remember it, or she does but she wants to deny it happened. I have Tourette's, which in middle school helped me get away with cussing. I don't even have the cussing tick, it's really rare, but whenever teachers caught me cussing I'd just say I have Tourette's. And they'd leave me alone. They were probably afraid they might get in trouble if they pushed it further, lol. I feel kinda bad about it now. But it's not like I was lying. When I was 10 years old, my parents pulled me aside one day and decided to break the news to me that Santa wasn't real and they were the ones that bought me the presents under the tree each Christmas. They held off as long as they could to tell me and thought that I was old enough to know the truth. I could tell it was so hard for them because they thought they were breaking a kid's heart. The thing is that I knew that for a couple of years already. I just kept pretending because I liked getting presents. Not sure if it counts, but it's something. When I was younger, I decided to scribble on the wall and thought it was a good idea at the time. I quickly realized what I had done and panicked. I think I was about 4 or 5 times. And I told my younger sister what happened and to take the blame for it if mum and dad confronted us about it. Sure enough, they did. When they asked us who drew on the wall, my sister actually said she did it and got sent to the naughty corner. Starting around 2. When I didn't like my outfit, I'd go roll outside in the mud and come back and say, "Oops, dirty mama. Go to change." Everyone thought it was me being young and confused. Except my mom, who knew my bullshit was starting young and she'd just have to let me dress myself.